Hello everyone, welcome to your February 2026 monthly forecast, and happy Valentine's Day to everyone. So, I haven't done these for a while. I'm hoping that you guys, share this video, like, share, comment, subscribe, especially if you're new. I need to get my videos more in circulation. There, I just wasn't getting enough views, so it really wasn't worth me doing them. I will always still do the shorts, but we'll see how the monthlies go. Okay, but anyway, so the month actually starts off with a full moon in Leo. Okay, on the 1st. Then on the 3rd, Uranus turns direct. It's still in Taurus. Turns direct. It's finishing its transit in Taurus and moving into Gemini in April. I believe it's April 27th. Anyway, on the 6th, Mercury moves into Pisces. Up until that point, it is still in Aquarius. On the 10th, Venus moves into Pisces, and again, up until that point, it's still in Aquarius. On the 13th, Saturn leaves uh, Pisces for like, what is it, 28 years maybe? I forget the cycle. It spends about 2.5 to 3 years in each zodiac sign, so it takes a while to go completely around the zodiac. So it is leaving Pisces and moving into Aries on the 13th, okay? Then on the 17th, there's a new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius. On the 18th, the sun moves into Pisces, and then on the 26th, Mercury turns retrograde in Pisces, okay? And there is a link in the description box below. I just left it in there, okay, to a video that I did on Mercury retrograde. Okay, so it's a good idea to check that out. Also, again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, whatever you can do. I would greatly appreciate it, okay? And thank you so much for your donations, your inquiries, all of that. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And now for your forecast. Hi, Aquarius. So, all these planets are in your sign, and happy birthday to you, by the way. The sun is in your sign up until the 18th, and we've still got Venus in your sign up until the 9th. Mercury is still in Aquarius up until the 6th. Okay, now the big deal here is the new moon in Aquarius, but it's a solar eclipse at the same time. Okay, so an eclipse really adds a lot of flavor to any aspect. Okay, so it causes whatever, the effects last a little bit longer. Like a new moon will bring a new beginning in your life. Okay, this is all happening in your first house of self, of personality. Your rising sign is how the outer world sees you. Okay, your sun sign is your inner world, how you really are, more or less. But either way, there's a solar eclipse going on in your sign, no matter where you have the sign of Aquarius in your chart. Okay, you may have another different rising sign, but either way, that area of your life is going to be in effect, like for a while. Nobody can really tell how long an eclipse, the effects of an eclipse will last. It could be weeks, months, whatever, even just days. Depends on you, actually. But a lot of times it eclipses people out of your life, okay? And usually it's someone who should have been gone probably a while ago anyway. So it's a good thing. It's usually a good thing, something. If it isn't a person, it's a thing. It's a thing that was either holding you back or annoying you in some way or other, a problem of some kind. Well, that eclipsed possibly out of your life. That's what brings the new beginning with the new moon. Okay, now if you've watched my videos in the past, that I always say when Venus is in your own sign, your 10th house or your first house, you should milk it for all you can. Okay, now, but you do still have Venus in your sign up until the 10th, okay? So you can still have those 10 days of February to really lay it on thick with anyone, you know, but it's just you're more popular at this time. When Venus is in your own sign, or like I said, the 10th or the first house, people find you far more appealing than at any other time, okay, when Venus has this placement. And they want to do really nice things for you. They want to do favors for you. They want to stay on your good side for some reason or other. That's why it's a good idea to, if you need to approach someone who is hard to get along with, or disagreeable, unagreeable, whatever, to something you may ask them to do. Maybe you need a favor or you need help or something or other. But the best time to approach that kind of person is when Venus is in your own sign. So now again, you have 10 days, the first 10 days of February to do that. You had most of January, okay? But anyway, and Mercury still in your sign, you know, brings an awful lot of conversations usually. When Mercury leaves your sign, you'll realize just how many people you have been in contact with. Possibly someone maybe you haven't talked to in a really long time, but you're on the receiving and sending end of a lot of communications, okay? Let's see here. Now there's a full moon, okay, on the 1st. We do have to cover that just because it's in Leo, and Leo is your opposite sign. This is occurring in your 7th house. Okay, it's directly across from your 1st house of Aquarius. 7th house is your close relationships and partnerships. So a full moon here, you know, there's no planets here in Leo, actually. Kind of takes care of itself. However, if there was something going on within one of your close relationships, whether it's business, romantic, or friendship, or an arrangement or agreement that you have with someone that you want to change or you want to alter, anything even also within the relationships, now's the time to get that off your chest. That's what the full moon is for. It will bring a problem or an issue to the surface so you can deal with it and do away with it. You won't have to bother with it again. So that's all that is. Big deal. So by the time the new moon, a solar eclipse rolls around in your sign, it's probably completely forgotten. If not, maybe that person or that arrangement or agreement was eclipsed out of your life. Okay, whatever. Also, the big news I would have to say for you is Saturn leaving Pisces in your 2nd house of earned income. Okay, Neptune was here for a while. Also, now you do not have any planets in your 2nd house holding you back from earning money or a lack of money, or having the purse strings just tightened beyond recognition, you know. It's more than rolling pennies to buy a loaf of bread, you know, but, you know, obviously you may have had to do something like that. Saturn in the 2nd house dries up your resources, and that's what the 2nd house is. Resources, how you earn your money. Also, however, you could have made some investments at this time that are very reliable, though at the time you made them or purchased, possibly this is also a collector's house, you know, the collectibles, anything that you can invest in. Okay, so you may have purchased something, even if it was, a lot of time you find really nice finds at like flea markets or thrift stores or something or other, that you may find somewhere down the line actually is worth a lot of money or grows in value in some way or other. I just have to, you know, point out though that you know, it should be a little bit of a relief. It may not be noticeable right away though. Okay, you have to remember you still have Pluto in your sign for like the next 20 years, and it is a very intense transit. People will find you very intense at this time, okay? But you are also, you're even questioning yourself. You know, I did do a video on Pluto through all the signs, so you may want to listen to that. Okay, will help you figure out some things, but whatever. The sun moving into Pisces, you know, on the 18th, and then, you know, Mercury here from the 6th on, Venus here from the 10th on, and then Mercury turning retrograde on the 26th here. Either way, you have all these really nice planets, especially Venus. Venus does attract things, okay, like money. And this is a money house, right? You could be getting even, it could be like belated birthday gifts or just whatever, but people may be giving you things at this time, or money is just coming to you, or it just feels like it's let up a little bit. It's freer, it's more accessible, okay? With Mercury here, you could have actually been waiting on something. You know, one of those, the check is in the mail, and it really is. You know, in America, we have tax time here right now. Okay, so a lot of people are expecting their checks, you know, or their direct deposits, whatever, for a tax refund. It could be something like that, but I would just have to say that it's like a breath of fresh air happening in this area in your life when it comes to earned income, having access to like resources and money, and not even just your own, you know, other people's. You may have like been, you know, applied for something or other, and it you didn't qualify for whatever reason. Okay, so it's been a tough time, and that's leaving. So again, with the Sun, Mercury, and Venus, and especially when Mercury turns retrograde in the second house, you may receive money that, again, was held up, but you could also get an increase. There really isn't anything going on in your career. However, you do have Jupiter is in Cancer, okay, in your 6th house of the workplace, the kind of work that you do, your co-workers, the company you work for. It's also the house of health and the house of service to others, okay? So this whole time, maybe, especially with the planet Uranus in Taurus in your 4th house of your home and family, where you physically live, the people you live with, your childhood, your past, how you were raised, all kinds of stuff. You know, again, though, too, I do have to mention back to the 2nd house with Saturn here. 2nd house is also your sense of self-worth, okay? And that could have been a little bit cloudy. People may have been making you feel like, I don't know, you weren't important enough or something or other, or just doing a real number on you, and that is something that isn't true, obviously. With Neptune in the 2nd house, Neptune does govern deception, illusion. It was, you know, could have been somebody pulling a real number on you. Could have been family. Okay, with this, we're back to the 4th house here with Uranus leaving, but you know, you could have had somebody just dump themselves on your lap, more or less on your front step, okay, and you had to take them in. Now, this could have been family, or it could have been someone from your past. 4th house is also the past, okay. Anyways, you could have had a revolving door when it came to roommates, or you could have had an unruly child that was just really acting up, or another family member that was going through, like, I don't know, a second childhood or something weird like that. But it was like never a dull moment at home. Okay, that's leaving you too, right? And moving into your 5th house, where I think it will do a really, really good job. But anyways, back to Jupiter in your 6th house of the kind of work that you do, okay? You could have even developed your own business or a side business that you did because it started out because you needed the money, but now it's becoming like possibly your main source of income, and that is with Jupiter in your 6th house, you're getting a lot of business, more or less, a lot of work. Whatever it is that you do, it could be something very creative, but it could just be something, you could be a big tech head, you know, could have even opened something kind of like, you know, you're like your own host, you know, hosting other people's websites. You have it set up in your living room, you know, something like that. A lot of people do that, believe it or not. But you know, things are going in your favor, more in your favor now. So things are really looking up for you now. When Saturn moves into your 3rd house, you know, it's not very. It's probably not noticeable right away. Neptune is there right now. It is going to be there for a while, but you could have like, you know, like a neighbor that it's a new neighbor possibly that could be a real pain in the ass. They could feel like they can overthrow the rest of the neighborhood. They can do whatever they want to. They could park in front of your house or cut through your yard or whatever. And, you know, and with Neptune here, you know, there is the illusion. You're not really sure. They may do one of those things where they don't have any visible means of support and nobody really knows what they do for a living. You know, it could be something weird going on like that. But for now, you know, we're just going to deal with planets in your 1st and 2nd house. Really, I think money is really looking up for you. You have a lot to look forward to. Okay, so your best days for February, the best time to do something is when the moon is in your own sign in Aquarius, and that is the 15th, 16th, and 17th. The best time to lay low is when the moon is in your opposite sign, and that is Leo, and those dates are the 1st, 2nd, and 28th. The best time for romance, recreation, creativity, fun, gambling or speculation, and anything to do with children is the 10th, 11th, 12th, 24th, and 25th. The best time for money is the 3rd, 4th, 17th, 18th, and 19th. The best time for your career is the 7th, 8th, and 9th. And the best time for communication and travel is the 5th, 6th, 7th, 19th, 20th, and 21st. So, happy birthday to you. Enjoy yourself. See you next time. Bye.